Buenos días, clase. Voy a hablar sobre 5.09. This is 05.09, your evaluación oral, your oral assessment. This is what it will look like when you pull it up for 05.09. For this presentation, you will record an audio or video with a presentation with images, speaking in complete sentences in Spanish. So the biggest thing here that I want to point out first thing is that you can only upload one file to a Schoology for this assignment. So when you get to, let me try to pull up the turning in section. So this is what, when you go to your assignment to turn it in, this is what it will look like. You're going to go to, let me move this out of the way. You're going to go to this area right here. I know this is all a little confusing. It looks like you should click this right here, but really it's right here. So you click this and it opens a file upload area. And I thought I had that pulled up. It looks like this. So you can only upload one file. That's the main thing I'm trying to tell you is you can only upload one file. So you've got to decide how you want to do your presentation, whether that's a video or audio. You can make a video simply just you with the video and you can show pictures. I don't have any pictures to hold up right this second, but you can hold up actual physical pictures, like print them out. If it's easier for you to create a PowerPoint and do an audio, a voiceover over that, you can also do that. I use Stream to do these kind of presentations. So you could try to use Stream. We have that that's in the Microsoft 365 bundle. You also, another free tool is this, Screencastify, which is like a Google product. It comes with, you can use it with Chrome easily, but you can get it anywhere, and that's free. So you could try that. Again, or you can just do voiceover over a presentation of images, whether that's PowerPoint or using Screencastify or using Stream, or if you just want to hold up pictures, like I said, and talk about them in your presentation. So this is a little bit different, a little more effort is involved in preparing for this presentation. So I'll go back over here to talk about the requirements. So your requirements are that you're going to be using complete sentences in Spanish describing a past vacation one of your family members took to a Spanish-speaking country. Don't worry, if one of your family members has not been to a Spanish-speaking country, you can make the trip up, use your imagination. You will have to do a tiny bit of research just so that you are actually talking about a real place and possibly and hopefully some real activities that might happen in that area of travel of the trip. So you're going to use the following steps to complete your presentation. So the biggest thing here is to make sure you know the requirements, and I'm going to go over the requirements in just a minute in the guide that I created to help you write this. So I will go over the requirements again in just a minute, but the one thing I want to point out is this is how your work is graded. It's used the oral presentation rubric. I'm going to show you what that looks like. So this is how you're graded in this evaluación oral. So in order to kind of understand this better, and I'm going to try to go over this quickly so it's not redundant, there's all these requirements, okay? So you need to make sure you are looking over these requirements because they are very key to meeting all of the rubric requirements. So if you have this, it's like your content presentation, if you have 10 points possible here, and student correctly uses vocabulary words and expressions and 3 images to describe a past trip. The command of the Spanish language is worth up to 10 points, and that student uses correct conjugation of leer in the preterite tense and chameleon verbs in the preterite tense and or imperfect tense. Student correctly uses ordinal numbers and hace plus specific time frame plus que plus verb. And then your last your huge percentage of your grade is 25 to 18 points. And so max 25, the presentation is delivered fluently with clear attention paid to the volume, tone of voice, rate of speech, and use of appropriate pauses. So this is just that you are trying really hard to speak clearly and using correct pronunciation as best you can. So this is worth 25 points, just that piece of it. This is also a fairly easy 10 points. You got to make sure you're using vocabulary words that you've learned in Spanish 2, in Spanish 1, preferably some vocabulary words from this module 5, and 3 images to describe a past trip. So you got to get those 3 images in there in order to earn the 10 points. Okay, so this is just the rubric, and I'm just going to go over that. And I'm going to pause while I navigate away. Okay, so after you look at the requirements and look at the student example, all that's right here. But I'm going to show you how to do that. I kind of put all that together in the guide that I create, and the guide will be in your materials section, so you can find it easily. It'll be labeled 05.09, guide to help you with evaluación oral. Okay, so when you get to that document, I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so again, I have these requirements up here. It's all the requirements again. This is also what your grading will look like when you open up your submission and see what requirements you've met and which ones are missing. I'll also point you to this guide if you're having trouble with this video, and this guide if you're having trouble writing your script that you will record. So here is a template here, this chart, this table. Okay, so the directions are: use the correct form of the verb leer, which means to read, in the preterite tense to say how he or she discovered the Spanish-speaking country they traveled to. The example you have is: Mi madre leyó sobre el extranjero y sobre Barcelona, España, cuando ella era pequeña. Okay, so use the correct form of the verb leer in the preterite tense. This is one of your verbs that you learned this semester and some of last semester. I mean, your verb tense that you learned last semester, which is the preterite tense. And I'll point you, you can review preterite tense. There are a lot of resources for preterite tense in lesson 05.07. There are links to click through to get to helpful guides for preterite verbs. And if you need extra help, just let me know and I'll find you some more resources. So anyway, so you need to use the verb leer in the preterite tense to say how he or she discovered the Spanish-speaking country they traveled to. So it says, mi madre leyó. So leyó right here, I'll highlight it. I'll try to highlight it. Okay, that verb right there, leyó, is the verb leer conjugated for third person singular. Okay, so mi madre leyó, my mother read about traveling abroad and about Barcelona, Spain when she was younger. Okay, hold on a second. My kids are going. So what you can do is talk about whatever family member you're talking about. You might say mi madre, my mother. You might say mi padre, mi hermano, whatever family member you want to give the information about and base your story around. So you're basing the beginning of your sentence off, I would suggest basing it off of mi madre leyó or mi padre leyó, so that you make sure you meet that requirement. And then you can kind of give whatever information, however you want to explain how your family member discovered this place that they traveled to. Excuse me. Okay. Your next requirement is to use hace plus specific time frame plus que plus verb to say how long ago he or she traveled. Remember to include the mode of transportation he or she used. And so you can also review lesson 5.05.03 to review about how to use this expression to express how long ago you did something. So an example would be hace 7 años. So hace 7 años is like 7 years ago. That's an expression to tell like how long ago you did something. So if you did something 1 year ago, you would say hace un año, like so a year ago I did something, or my mother did something. So you would say hace 7 años. So your time in here, the 7, or whatever time expression you decide to use, you can fill that in there. So you have hace, 2 años, 2 years ago, que mi madre viajó a Barcelona por crucero. So 7 years ago, my mother traveled to Barcelona on a cruise. Okay, so like a cruise ship. Excuse me. So your next requirement is use one chameleon verb, which your choices are saber, conocer, poder, querer, or tener, in the preterite tense or imperfect tense, to say one activity or place he or she did or visited first. So again, this is reviewing 05.07. And you got to use one of these verbs, saber, conocer, poder, querer, or tener. And you can use preterite or imperfect to describe one activity or place that your family member went to. So an example sentence would be like, mi madre quería, this is imperfect tense, mi madre quería visitar el Arco de Triunfo y ver la arquitectura primero. So my mother wanted to visit the Arc de Triomphe, and see architecture first. Excuse me. Okay, so you're putting in you're talking about your family member. So you say, mi madre quería, my mother wanted. Mi madre quería visitar, my mother wanted to visit. And then you can kind of fill in the information that best suits your person's trip. Okay, and then the next sentence is very similar. You're just kind of recreating another sentence with using chameleon verbs. So again, another sentence is going to be using one chameleon verb, and these are the same verbs as before, different from the one used previously, so you need to spice it up and use a different one this time. And you're going to use it in the preterite tense or imperfect tense to say one activity or place your family member did or visited second. So you need to think about, where did they go first? Where did they go second? This is a good chance to use ordinal numbers. So you're going to say ordinal words. So you say segundo, which is second. I can't get my fingers in there. Segundo, like second. Mi madre quiso ver la Basílica la Sagrada Familia. Okay, so you have second, my mother wanted. Quiso is a chameleon verb. Querer up here. And that this time it's in preterite tense. So segundo mi madre quiso, remember, preterite tense is one time in the past, something that has a very fine determined amount of time in the past, whereas imperfect is more of an ongoing action in the past. So it says, so they use preterite right here. Segundo mi madre quiso ver la Basílica la Sagrada Familia y se fue de turismo por la ciudad. So this says, second, my mother wanted to see the Sagrada Familia last requirement. So it says, I was continuing right here. I was trying to give you the example. Read through what this last example is. So, segundo, secondly, mi madre quiso ver la Basílica la Sagrada Familia. So, second, my mother wanted to see la Basílica la Sagrada Familia and go on tour, like see tourism, be a tourist throughout the city. Okay, so really what your main focus here is using the ordinal number segundo would be a good way to express it. There are other ways to express it, but that's a good example. Segundo mi madre quiso. So really what you need to be making sure you have in your requirement is that you have your family member and you have the verb, one of the chameleon verbs, appear, saber, conocer, poder, querer, tener. And all the verb charts, like how to conjugate all the verbs, are in 05.07. So if you need help conjugating those verbs, they have the preterite and the imperfect in 05.07. And then really you can fill the rest of the sentence in with the information about your family member and what they did, also what they did on their trip. This is just an example of what this is the student example from the curriculum of what the example mother did on her trip to Barcelona. Okay, so what I did, so you have this, you can print this at home, or you can download it and edit it in here and make your sentences if you want. So this is all going to be here, and this is going to be posted in the materials section. Materials, it'll be labeled 05.09. And then I just put this down below because I want to make sure you understand that your requirement here is to do a presentation, audio or video. You cannot turn in. I'm happy for you to send me your script through message or email if you want feedback on your actual script, but you can't turn in your script and another file of pictures. You can't turn in an audio or video file and then another video file of pictures. So you've got to figure out a way to make a presentation all in one. Like I said, you can use Stream, which is how I make these videos. You can have a little, you and this little picture here while you show pictures that you pull up on the internet of the location of your family member's trip. You can, there's all kinds of creative ways to do that. I'm sure you all know a lot more creative ways to create this kind of presentation. You can, the other way you can do it is if you have Instagram or TikTok or YouTube, you can just make a video using different, like adding pictures into that, and then you just download that file onto your phone and you can upload that video, or you can upload that to YouTube and then download that file. So there's lots of ways to do it, and if you need help, just let me know. You can also use Screencastify, which I showed here. This is it's a free service to kind of cast your screen while also recording it. And it has a microphone function and the webcam so that I can see you talking, as well as recording your speaking while you're doing that. So like I said, I use Stream, which is a part of the Microsoft 365. So you can use that. And I'm sure there's other options as well, but those are the two that I know will definitely work for you. So your 3 pictures can be any 3 pictures from the location that you're talking about. And just make sure you have those 3 pictures and you have your audio or video all combined in one file somehow, and then turn that in the file section. I'll show you kind of what that looks like. Hold on, let me pause while I navigate to that. Okay, so when you are ready with your presentation file, whether that's a video or an audio voiceover of a screencast, however it's easiest for you to do it, you're going to upload it into this section right here. This says 5.09. Evaluación Oral. And for some reason, this is labeled 05.08, so don't get thrown off. But you click this, and you go down here, and there'll be a file upload section, and that is where you upload your file right here. Okay, so make sure it's a video or audio. Really, it probably, no matter what, needs to be a video because you've got to get those pictures on there. So you've got to have a video submission there. So if you have any questions, just let me know. I know this is a little more extensive, a little more time intensive than your other evaluación orals. This is going to be the exact same type of presentation that you're going to turn in for Module 6. So it's good to prepare now for Module 6. So do a really great version of this, and then, all of this will come second hat, and it'll be really easy for Module 6 version. So I hope this was helpful, and if you have any questions, just let me know. I tried to go really fast so it wouldn't take up much time, but I still had to do a part 2 to make sure I got all the information in. Go make sure you use the guide for 05.09 if you need any help. And then also feel free to ask me for help, and feel free to send me your script to get feedback before you record yourself speaking and creating your video presentation. So I hope this was helpful, and if you have any questions, just let me know.